Hi, I'm Brian Crombie, and we're going to be talking on the Brian Crombie Show. We're going to be talking about politics, arts, business, and social issues on the Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. Good evening and welcome to the Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. I really want to introduce you to this gentleman, Sheref Sabawy, who is the Member of Provincial Parliament for Mississauga Erin Mills. And I want to wish him a happy birthday because he just celebrated his birthday. Happy birthday, Sheref.
Thank you very much. Brian.
And in addition, I wanted to talk to him because we've just passed the 2-year anniversary of the Conservative government in Ontario. And I wanted to do a 2-year checkup. It's the halfway time. And I wanted to see what he thinks about how Doug Ford has done, the Doug Ford government, the Conservative government, and what he thinks about the next 2 years. So the election's going to be, Sheref, in June of 2022?
Yes.
Fantastic. And you've also recently been given a promotion. You're now the parliamentary assistant in tourism and heritage?
Yes. Heritage, sports, tourism, and culture.
Fantastic. Industries. Congratulations. That's great.
Thank you.
So 2 years in, I got to tell you, I didn't think Doug Ford would do that well. Really, Justin Trudeau ran against Doug Ford in the federal election because the first year of Doug Ford's government, the polls were not attractive. And then he seems to have really turned things around. And is this the new and improved Doug Ford? Is he the kinder, gentler Doug Ford? Or has he just become the leader that we needed during COVID-19? What's your assessment?
My own opinion, and that's my personal opinion as well, is Doug Ford didn't change. We have been doing exactly what we are doing since day one. We have been looking out of the box, looking in different ways to sort problems, which tackle many problems, which we could call it hot files.
Yep.
Like people, like liberals, for many years have been sitting and they didn't want to touch it because they know or they knew that when you touch it, now you have to do something really big because it have been left for many years. And Doug Ford have been very, I would say, very outgoing in attacking those issues, but the media wasn't really helping us. The media were really attacking us all the time. I think the people also had some doubts in the leadership of Doug Ford. But
well, it sort of came in at the last moment. Like it was the whole process of Patrick Brown getting kicked out of leadership effectively, and then the new leadership convention. And I frankly thought Christine Elliott was going to win, and so it was pretty close in the end, was it not?
I think it was a very close race because of the circumstances at the time frame. But Doug Ford showed very strong since day one. And actually, Doug Ford did a very good thing, actually, as soon as he won. He managed to unite everybody. He managed to include everybody. He managed to create a team from all the different teams who were fighting yesterday.
So who were they? They were Christine Elliott, Caroline Mulroney.
Caroline Mulroney, Christine Elliott, Doug Ford.
So the two of them are in cabinet. They've got big posts.
No, I think there was some talk about Vic, I think as
Fideli?
Well. But he didn't run, but there was like some team.
Is he in cabinet?
He's in cabinet. Yeah,
what's his
he
position?
was a finance minister, and now he is business development.
Okay, and Christine Elliott is health,
Health.
and Caroline Mulroney is transportation.
Transportation. Used to be the
Attorney General.
Attorney General, and now she is.
And so, what team of rivals? You think that, like Lincoln, he was able to bring the people
Yes.
together and work well as a team?
Doug Ford is really very good in being inclusive. Like he listened to everyone. He think and he managed to integrate everyone.
Excellent.
As a big team.
Well, that's good. And I thought, I worried that he wasn't going to listen to the science in COVID-19. He doesn't come across as a very scientifically oriented person. I was worried about his attitude toward climate change and things like that. And I thought he was actually reasonably impressive that he listened to the public health people and the scientists.
But day one, we were listening. Like our government were listening all the time. And I can give you multiple examples of that. One of the examples is the autism. You know, when we came up with the first solution, and there was like huge pushback and lots of professionals
Well,
and actually parents.
your current minister in
Yeah,
tourism,
yeah.
Lisa McLeod, she
Yeah.
was the person that
So
had that.
we did revisit it back. We added more money. We reformed it. So, like we were government listening since day one. So
Yep.
I don't see that as a change.
Yep.
Like since day one, Doug Ford used to in the caucus to discuss and give everyone chance to say their
Well, that's
opinion.
good.
So
Okay, so let's talk about some of the issues. So
Yeah.
back to school, people are worried.
Yes.
And you know you've had Toronto Board of Education that's you know really come back with some comments from public health that have been negative toward the provincial plan. You've got a lot of parents that are concerned. What do you think is going to happen? Are kids going to go back to school? Are parents going to send to school? Are you going to have to make some
Okay.
adjustments to your current plan? You know, I think that you know this pupil-teacher ratio was the big fight when you had the negotiation with the teachers during the last contract discussions. And this is effectively the issue now, is that cramming 25 to 30 people in a classroom just isn't going to be safe, is it?
Okay, so let me state some facts before I give you an answer for that. Fact number one, we will never reach a solution which will get accepted by everyone. We have teachers who are calling us saying, we don't feel safe to come back. You should stop school. Like you should close schools. Teachers calling us and saying,
But
"We
why
don't feel
can't you
safe."
just put the
No, hold
teachers
on.
behind shields?
Let me finish this. So teachers, some of the teachers saying, no, I'm not convinced it was online. We need to go back to school, and the psychology of the kids and the interaction and the integration and social aspect of the education process. And we accept that. I understand that. We have teachers who feel that it's not safe to go back to school at all. We should close schools. And we have teachers who are in between. Yeah, we can go back, but with special conditions. So we'll put conditions to go back. So just for fact, teachers, three types, three groups. Parents are the same.
Yep,
Some
no
parents
question.
say, I wouldn't send my kids no matter what back to school. Some parents saying, please open the schools. We would like the kids to go back so that we can go back to work.
Yep.
Some other parents say online is not working at all. Some parents say, my kids did marvelous since we come online. I would love to have online going all the time. So we have, in the parents, we have 4 groups, and teachers, we have 3 groups. So it's a combination of each and every. My point is, first of all, we don't have 30. Like 30 is an imaginary number.
Okay.
In whole Peel, we have one school, one class, have 31 teachers, 31 students. One class. In the whole Peel, like I got the list.
The statistics, okay. In
So,
all of Peel.
In the
okay.
whole Peel.
So
one.
what would be the average in elementary schools in Peel?
I think the average was around 22 to 24.
Okay. But, you know, even 22 kids in a classroom, you're not 6 feet apart.
Okay, let me ask you the question. How many 6 students you need to infect the whole class?
1.
Okay, so if it's 15, 30, 40, 24,
Yeah, but
one kid.
your own public health and your own government, you know, started out with no more than 5 people together, then no more than 10 people together. So, you know, limiting, and it's this infection rate and the spread, I think they call it the R factor, of how quickly it can spread is clearly a problem. So, you know, if one gives it to 5 versus one giving it to 30, obviously it's going to spread a lot faster if it's 1 to 30.
Okay, so for us to do that, we suggested a solution. We said 2 days, so we can split every class to 2,
Yep.
basically half. So half the class will be in the school 2 days a week and online 2 days a week.
Yep. And
They refused it,
who? The teachers.
the teachers. We discussed being able to do some of the classes online, the class which doesn't need labs or anything to do online, and do the one which need labs and physical presence in the school. They rejected it. So they reject all the time.
Well, and thinking that you're going to be able to
don't
double the number of
forget-
teachers.
Don't forget that we have been fighting this number of students per class even before COVID.
Yeah, no
That's their
question.
analogy. We would like to have 5 kids for a teacher and hire 100,000 teachers. No problem. No big deal. We are a union. We need more money. And that's
Well,
not really how can we deal with
More
that.
teachers, no question. Well, I think kids have got to go back to school.
Yes.
They've got to be educated. They're going to miss out on too many opportunities for education if we don't get them back to school. So I think that is key. Online learning is a solution. The teachers don't like it because it was a way of effectively reducing the number of teachers over time.
No,
but online,
not really. They think that because technically speaking, if you put 10 students online, it's not going to affect too much to do 15. So they think that this is a step towards reducing the number of teachers, but it doesn't have to be that.
Well, online studying, we're all doing online today, right? Whether it's online research or online.
Let me
so
tell you a
online
funny story about that online thing. We in the first negotiation, we tried to put 2 credits, bear the 4 years of high school, 2 credits just online courses mandatory. And the union got up and down, and they managed finally to make it optional.
Yeah.
Now, when I meet somebody from the union, say, guys, how do you feel about having everything online now? Because they were complaining, saying kids don't like online.
So I did a bunch of work in the private education business a couple years ago. And it's interesting because online works, but not if it's 100% online. You've got to have some human interaction, and it's also some peer interaction. So people learn, and there's certain courses where people learn even more from the peer-to-peer interaction. And so you've got to have that classroom setting and the peer-to-peer interaction and the interaction and motivation and inspiration that comes from a teacher. But it doesn't have to be all of the time. So you can't have online, and the companies, the private education companies that do online some of the time, and then also bring them into the classroom are the ones that are most successful. Anyway, we're going to take a break and come back just after a quick break for some messages. More with Sheref Sabawy, the MPP for Mississauga Erin Mills, on his happy birthday check-in of the 2-year anniversary of his party forming government, the Conservative Party in Ontario, and his own personal birthday. So stay with us.
Thank you.
If you are looking for a dedicated and honest real estate agent, then meet Wasif Khan, servicing the community for years in resale and pre-construction projects. Sell your property in top dollars with TV, radio, social media, and MLS marketing. We also help with mortgages.
For all your real estate needs, contact me at 647-786-8765 or visit wasifkhan.ca.
जैसे जैसे कारोबार दोबारा खुल रहे हैं, जिस्मानी दूरी की मशक जारी रखें और अक्सर अपने हाथ धोएं। कोविड-19 के फैलाव को रोकने में मदद करें। ontario.ca/coronavirus देखें। यह है इश्तिहार हुकूमत ऑन्टेरियो ने जारी किया है।
टीम फरहान मॉर्गेज सॉल्यूशंस आपकी खिदमत में पेश 15 साल तजर्बे के हामिल, आपकी जरूरियात और मर्जी के एन मुताबिक कारोबारी, रिहायशी, तामीराती और ज़रूरी मॉर्गेज सर्विसेज। हमारा कम तरीन मॉर्गेज रेट। टीम फरहान।
At Team Farhan, we're here for all your mortgage needs.
Müşterilerimize iyi ve kaliteli hizmet vermeye özen gösteriyoruz.
ونوفر كل التسهيلات القروض المالية لكل أنواع القروض.
Here at Team Farhan, we have mortgage solutions designed for you.
Team Farhan को एक दफा खिदमत का जरूर मौका दीजिएगा. And this is my personal promise to you, you will not be disappointed.
At Team Farhan, we have a mortgage solution designed for you.
मजीद मालूमात के लिए 416-569-9294 या फिर विजिट कीजिए हमारी वेबसाइट www.teamfarhan.com.
एयर विंग्स ट्रैवल एंड टूर्स नॉर्थ अमेरिका की सबसे बाएतमाद और फास्टेस्ट एयर ट्रैवल सर्विसेज। 25 साल का तजर्बा लिए लातादाद अफोर्डेबल ट्रैवल डील्स के साथ एक्सीलेंस इन कस्टमर सर्विसेज ऑन जस्ट वन फोन कॉल। ये है एयर विंग्स ट्रैवल एंड टूर्स। फॉर बुकिंग कॉल नाउ 1855-247-9464 और 905-272-2300. एयर विंग्स ट्रैवल एंड टूर्स।
Consumer Choice Award recipients and GTA's top-ranked service provider, Dixie Electronics, authorized dealer of all major companies. Shop with a peace of mind, and low prices are always guaranteed.
I promise best customer service and lowest prices in GTA because we beat prices from all major stores and small stores. At Dixie Electronics, our motto is we sell quality and deliver confidence.
Dixie Electronics and Appliances, 5120 Dixie Road, Unit 11, Mississauga. Phone number 905-625-5900.
Are you looking for a different type of realtor? Meet Sohail Khan, broker owner of Century 21 Innovative Realty Inc. You don't need to know a lot about real estate, but you do need to know Sohail Khan, who knows a whole lot about real estate. He knows contracts, negotiations, research, he knows the market, and he really knows the area. When it comes to real estate buying or selling, Sohail Khan is a know-it-all. Get to know Sohail Khan. 416-822-0305 or at sohailkhan.ca. Experience excellence.
Life is precious, and health is the greatest gift. The best investment you can ever make is in your own health and life. Take steps now for your health and life concerns, which includes drug and dental insurance, travel insurance, critical illness, disability income insurance, and super visa insurance. We also provide life insurance, RESP, RRSP, and segregated funds.
To make the informed decision, contact Babar Chughtai, your health benefit advisor at 416-816-9210. It's 416-816-9210.
Was your family or business prepared for this financial crisis? Want to learn how I prepare my clients with the essential financial planning pyramid for any financial crisis come their way? Hello, this is Zahid Sayed from Arooj Financial. For your complimentary Zoom or Skype meeting, call my office at 905-624-0008 or visit aroojfinancial.com.
Buying or selling a residential or commercial property is one of the biggest financial decisions most people will make in their life. The real estate lawyers at Alam Law Chambers will guide you through the complete real estate laws to ensure your transaction completes on time and your dreams come true. Reliable and affordable. Alam Law.
If you are looking for a reliable, professional, and affordable travel agency in your town, then your search is over. Global Travel and Tours is your personal travel partner. Our dedicated staff at Mississauga, Jeddah, and Islamabad is always ready to make your trip hassle-free, memorable, and cost-effective. We will assist you with hotel reservations, the transportation, visa assistance, and travel insurance. We are the #1 pilgrimage specialist for Hajj, Umrah, as well as ziyarats to Iran and Iraq. Global Travel and Tours is a one-stop solution for your travel, immigration, and Forex needs. We are IATA approved agents and an authorized Umrah agent. To book your holiday or Umrah package, please give us a call right now at 1-877-275-3555. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hi, I'm Brian Crombie, and we're going to be talking on The Brian Crombie Show. We're going to be talking about politics, arts, business, and social issues on The Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. Welcome back to the Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. We're chatting tonight with Sheref Sabawy, the member of Provincial Parliament for Mississauga Erin Mills. And we've just had a good discussion about getting back to school. Let me, Sheref, if I could turn to a couple of other topics. Long-term care. 80% of the mortality, and I think the numbers come down, but 80% of the mortality in Ontario is in long-term care. It's a tragedy. It's a nightmare. What went wrong? And what's your government going to do about it?
I think our government, when we got faced with this problem, we called the army, and army got everything under control. And reasoning for this issue, many reasons. One of the reasons is actually the COVID is very vital for old age, for the elderly people. So the death rate in elderly people is higher than normal.
There's no question, but it's really bad in long-term care facilities. So my mom is 88 years old. I have a second cousin who is the former longest sitting MPP in the Ontario legislature. Both of them are living at home, and they're fine. And so, you know, there's something about long-term care where not only the residents interacting, but I think it's really the long-term care workers, the personal care workers, the PS, taking the virus from room to room.
Yes,
and,
not only from room to room. Some of those PSWs actually used to work part-time in multiple home
so from home to home too.
From home to home, yes.
So I had a union leader on my show who represents a bunch of these personal care workers, and he said the blame is with the government for trying to go from full-time employment to part-time employment and contracts just to keep wages down, and that there's no regulation in regards to how many personal care workers you have. You know, we just talked about pupil-teacher ratio. It's like the PSW to patient or resident ratio. There's no regulation in that. He said there's lots of regulations on the size of the spoon that you can use in the home, but there's no regulations in regards to the PSW versus resident ratio. Is that true?
It's not like standards. There's no standards per se, but there is some recommended. Like in the guidelines, there's guidelines that have some recommendation. But let me tell you something which actually a lot of people, even the union, your union guest, missed. I think that the majority of the long-term care are not government. Like why he's focusing on the government ones when the majority of them are privately owned, privately managed, and the private managed ones, actually, it's a private business. Like they do.
And so his complaint there was allowing the for-profit business, and that the for-profit business was reducing costs, and the way they reduce the cost is by reducing the number of PSWs. And so what his claim was is we dramatically need greater regulation. And he actually was interesting because he said that after SARS, there was a judicial inquiry that the then provincial government commissioned, and he said all the recommendations that that judicial inquiry had were forgotten. Is that true?
Yeah. When was the SARS? Remind me.
2003.
Of the year. Okay. How many years left? How many years passed after that before we come on government?
Well, but.
Like 15 years.
Yeah.
So for
it's
15
not just,
years,
it's not just your responsibility.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
something happened.
The whole file of long-term care have been left to dry for many
But
years.
It's an issue.
Now we are working on it. Like we committed to add 10,000 beds in the first year. We added another 8,000 the second year. And we are adding, I think, 5,000 every year coming till end of the total of 30,000.
Right. Isn't it also that I mentioned my second cousin who used to be the leader of the Liberal Party and treasurer in the Ontario legislature. He was in a long-term care facility, and like a week or two into COVID-19, his family took him out and moved him back to. His,
I have many
farm.
cases like that. Yes.
And he's far safer there. So. There's something much better about staying at home. Shouldn't we do stuff that it makes it easier for seniors to stay at home, if not forever, at least longer? And not, this union leader again called it warehousing our elderly. We shouldn't be warehousing our elderly. We should be, giving them the best end-of-life care that they have, or not even end of life, but their last senior years.
Absolutely. The problem arises when they need an extra level, like elderly need extra level of care, which like with everyone busy in work and going out.
But you can have public health care workers that come and meet them.
So that's what I'm saying. We added money in the home care. We call it home care, so that we can offer more BSWs in-house services, and that might help very much in keeping people. Because don't forget something. It's proven by research that elderly feel more comfortable in their own environment. In his house, his rocker chair, his TV, his dog, like he feel more comfortable and actually he's more safe, more comfortable, more relaxed, less stressed in his house environment.
Sheref, I had Mohammed Faki, the president of Paramount Fine Foods, on my show, and he said the restaurant industry is in crisis. And needs help. And then I had someone that runs a big clothing chain, and they said the clothing retail stores are in crisis. Then I had Andrea Horvath on my show, who said that Main Street is in crisis.
Yes.
Bankruptcies, people that can't pay their leases, workers that aren't making money. What are we going to do about all these people that have been impacted so negatively by COVID-19 and the stay-at-home regulations?
We are in crisis, yes, absolutely. And any government in the world, the whole world is in crisis, not us, not Canada, not Ontario, not Canada, not North America, it's everywhere. We did a lot of work to try to relieve.
Yep.
So individually, we actually allowed EI to go through. Federal government did the CERB to everyone. So individually, majority, I'm not saying everyone, but majority of people have been taken care of. In the small businesses, again, the federal/provincial government did this 75% support of the rental for businesses. So the landlord paid 25%, the business owner paid 25%, and the federal/provincial government paid 50%.
Yep.
So technically speaking, the owner of the business paid 25%.
So they put a moratorium on kicking tenants out until September the 2nd.
That's another thing.
I have heard rumors that there's going to be a whole bunch of people that are kicked out September 2nd.
I don't doubt that, because lots of people abuse the system.
Yep.
So I know a lot of tenants who are willing to pay, in a good financial position to pay, or even better position than before COVID, because there's like 3 or 4 people in the house who's getting the $2,000. So now the whole income of the family become tripled, and they refuse to pay rent. So majority of those units are on mortgage. So the owner of the unit is actually paying the mortgage from the rent.
Yep.
So if he stays for 6 months with no rent, he's
going to go bankrupt.
So technically speaking, lots of people abuse the system, and that's why Doug Ford said that. Like said, there is life after COVID, and tenant-landlord relationship have to be healthy.
But you've seen, I know, the numbers in Florida and Arizona and California and Texas, where they opened up, and the infection rate's gone from less than 5% to above 20%. The mortality's gone up. The public health people have talked about it being runaway infection rate. Is that what's going to happen in Ontario?
The answer for that is it depends the behavior of the people. If the people behave, keeping the protection, keeping the distance, wearing the mask, sanitizing all the time, like following the direction of the health authorities, not me, not our government, but the health authorities saying, most of all, we should not get that.
Yep.
Is it a chance? There's a chance, or there's a risk? Yes, there is a risk. Absolutely.
You've seen the statistics in Israel, I presume, where they reopened the schools and infections skyrocketed. If our infection rate skyrockets, are we going to close schools down again?
Everything is possible. We run the government with the advice of the health authorities.
Right.
If the health authorities said, please close, this is the safest, most of what will do that.
The other side to the issue in regards to all these Main Street businesses and restaurants and retail stores and everyone else that's closed and losing money is the deficit is going to skyrocket. The debt's going to skyrocket. How do we ever get this back under control?
I think it's going to take time. Like, it's a recovery. It's going to be a recovery, like economical recovery. It's going to take a few years. It's not going to happen day and night.
Are we going to have massive austerity in 2021 and 2022?
We don't see that happening, because majority of the businesses now trying to open will hire, most probably will hire majority of the employees again to kickstart the business. It's difficult when the CERB is still going. The restaurants, I talk to restaurant owners, I visit businesses, and they are complaining because nobody wants to work. Like, he most probably will get the same amount of money if he work it. So would I stay home, safer, less effort, I'm getting the money, I'm staying home.
TTC supposedly lost 80% of their revenue.
Yes.
Are you going to have to bail out the TTC?
We actually did.
Okay.
We did supported the municipalities in regard to transportation. Mississauga got a good chunk of money.
And what about Go Transit?
Go Transit, I'm not 100% sure. I think that's umbrella. It's not like TTC specifically. I'm talking about the transportation sector overall. Like, we don't have TTC here in Mississauga, but we got, I think, I can't remember the number now. I'm sorry, it's not top of my head, but it's 10, 15 million for
Sheref,
transportation.
You've run for nominations for a couple of years.
Yeah.
You've always wanted to be a politician.
Yes.
You've now been in government for 2 years.
Yes.
Is it everything that you hoped it would be?
Well, it is a transition. Like, I have to admit that, which sometimes my students even ask me, like, how do you feel? What's the difference between being an IT professor and a politician? I said, for 34 years in IT, it's very simple. 1 + 1 = 2. In politics, 1 + 1 actually can equal anything from 0 to infinity, because there's no predictions about what could it result from 1 + 1 be in politics. So that's kind of.
But are you enjoying it?
I would say I'm enjoying it.
Because it's something that you seem to love and wanted to do for so long.
Yes.
Are you happy?
Yes. I'm definitely happy, because you can feel that what you're doing is benefiting people. I have tons of cases come to my office every day. Like in the COVID, we've seen surge in the number of cases we are receiving in the constituency office every day, from tenant not paying the rent, from landlord who would like to kick the tenant out, from a business who have a problem with the employees, or employees don't want to work, or they want to go to work and the business is closing and laying them off, and all kind of sort of issues.
Yep.
And when we solve a problem, I tell the guys we have to celebrate. Like we.
Well, Sheref El Sabawy, thank you so much for coming on my show. It's a pleasure to see you again. I got to tell you that Sheref's and my politics are a little bit different. If any of you are familiar with me, Sheref and my politics used to be similar. My politics and Sheref's politics are a little bit different today. But he has been a strong supporter of the community. I was very involved in the Mississauga Summit with him. He co-chaired one of the task forces Mississauga Summit. He's been a big supporter of mine through numerous years, and I've been a big supporter of him. And so even though my politics are different, he's a good guy. So, Sheref, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and happy birthday.
Thank you very much, Brian. I'm really, really delighted to be with you here today. And you know, I learned a lot from you, and I always say it. I don't have any shy to say that I learned many things from Brian, and this is how we can all grow. We learn from each other, and you have been having a lot of experience when I came to politics. I was newbie, and you taught me a lot.
Well, that's Sheref El Sabawy, the MPP for Mississauga Erin Mills. Thanks for joining us tonight. Good night.
एयर विंग्स ट्रैवल एंड टूर्स नॉर्थ अमेरिका की सबसे बाएतमाद और फास्टेस्ट एयर ट्रैवल सर्विसेज। 25 साल का तजर्बा लिए लातादाद अफोर्डेबल ट्रैवल डील्स के साथ एक्सीलेंस इन कस्टमर सर्विसेज ऑन जस्ट 1 फोन कॉल। ये है एयर विंग्स ट्रैवल एंड टूर्स। फॉर बुकिंग कॉल नाउ 1855 247 9464 और 905